Today's vlog is a little different. I'm going to be talking about how to find work, how to build relationships, and how to work on projects, even if they are not yours. So the video clips you're seeing here were not filmed by us, so this is not a StoryKing project. This is a Scope Studios project. Scope is run by Jean-Luc, who I've known since we were teenagers. He's a great professional in the production space, and we got to crew for him on this project, providing drone footage, providing G&E, gaffing, all that good stuff, grip truck rental, all that. We were the crew, and so it was a fun shoot. It's always fun to work with others, especially other people who are super creative and good at what they do. Licensed drone pilot, and so I do drone services. That is one of the things that we do, not only for our own productions, but also for other people. So if you need a licensed drone pilot in the Central California area, feel free to hit us up, and I'd be happy to give you a hand. So drone is something that we do. We also have that big grip truck that you see, and it is available for hire. So you can hire us to help out on your project. We will come without our StoryKing shirts and hang out with you all day, have a good time, cracking jokes, and most importantly, making some great videos. All of our gear is available. Our crew is available. So if you need something, hit us up. That is something that we do. So here you can see the interview setup that we are doing. Again, Jean-Luc's production, so his cameras and lenses and pretty much everything else from us. We were providing gaffing and grip and lighting, G&E, the whole package. He brought his cameras and let us handle the rest of it. We did also use his fancy ship's microphone for all the audio. He had his own audio recorder and stuff. So, camera and audio is on him, but lighting, everything else, that's us. So you'll see a lot of the typical setups we do. You'll also notice tennis balls on everything, because when you are in nice corporate offices or any other area where you need to be careful not to mess things up, you put tennis balls or ferny pads down. We opted for tennis balls on this particular project instead of throwing ferny pads over the entire carpet. We use ferny pads in other scenes. But as you can see here, kind of what you see is more or less a typical setup from us in terms of equipment. We've got, big light going through a softbox, going through a silk, and then we've got some sort of a rim coming from a tube, and then either a bounce or a neg. Jean-Luc was a fan of the bounce. I'm a little more of a fan of the neg, so we tended to bounce for his shoots. Anytime you are gaffing for somebody else, you always light to their style, just in case that was not clear. For those of you who may not have done that, if someone's hiring you as a DP, they're probably hiring you for your taste and what you like and what you want to do. So then great, light it your way. But if they're bringing you on as a gaffer or something else, assume that you need to do it their way. And as always, have fun watching us push our carts into our truck. We had a lot of locations for this project. Shot over a couple days. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I don't remember. I think we ended up with like 3 shoot days. A couple hours at each spot. Jean-Luc's good at providing, a nice schedule where, it's enough time to do it right and light things and we're not rushed, but also not so much time that we're wasting time, like very efficient, but proper timing. So you can see he pretty much shot, on 2 reds, and we would light all the scenes, as needed, based on whatever was going on. We had a couple PAs who came out and helped us. I should say Jean-Luc had some PAs who came out and helped us. They were not our PAs, they were his. One of his regular guys, and then another guy who's newer to production, so fun to get to, meet new people and see all this stuff. So you can see, kind of walking through some of the lighting that we're doing, in some of these scenes where we've got, little kisses of light here and there just to do the little things that make it look better. So here's a quick run through of a drone setup. We'll have a director's monitor of some kind. Here we had a small wireless because we were going to be moving around. Also had a courtesy up on a rolling C-stand. And then in the van, I have my charging station because this was one of those kind of fly. We need to be charging batteries, looping through. So you can see we're charging the drone, we're charging the remote, we're charging batteries. I've since added even more batteries and chargers because I want to make sure that we never run out. And then out of the controller, run a USB-C to HDMI adapter into the Hollyland, which then runs out to the screen. So pretty straightforward, but it works great. I'll roll a little bit of the drone footage we got in this project again. I'm shooting, giving the raws to Jean-Luc, his color, his production. He's cutting them in, doing what he wants to do with them. So I'm just providing the drone pilot services. So if you are unfamiliar with a courtesy, it is putting up a flag that blocks the sun so that there's a nice bit of shade that you make for your client to stand under, or sometimes for the camera operator or whoever needs it. So I threw a cardellini on, hung the weight on the cardellini so that it's really easy. Move this thing around, but you still got your weight on there. So instead of breaking down this lighting setup, let's keep talking about getting work. So you get projects through relationships, right? And so how do you build these relationships? Now, we got this job because of the relationship we've built with Jean-Luc. Now, aside from the fact that, he and I have known each other for like 15 or 20 years or whatever, however long it's been, I spent a long time working in the wedding space. And he was working in the commercial space. And those two worlds are very different. And a couple years ago, when I decided to stop focusing on the wedding space and focus on the corporate and commercial space, people like Jean-Luc still would look at me as a wedding videographer because that's what I did for so long. And it's not that I didn't do corporate and commercial ever. It's not that I didn't know how, but I wasn't doing it in, day out, that's what we do now. And that's the shift that we've made. So somebody like Jean-Luc, even though he knows me, is not going to bring me out to be his gaffer on a set like this until he knows he can trust that I will not make him look like an idiot in front of his client. All right, this is what you need when you have to double tube it because you're punching against the daylight. That is big.
Could have went with the air tube, the light bank.
We really could have gone with the light bank there. That would have saved. That would have saved the whole combo stand.
We just like working harder.
Yeah. Part of the fun of production is asking PAs to do absolutely ridiculous and impossible things to see what happens and how they handle it. So we asked Miles to move this built Jenga game.
Our entire reputation. Here, I'm gonna give you a little. I don't know if this was a good idea. All right, Miles. That's as stable as it's gonna get. I'll put a little pressure on it. That's so funny. This is our version of hazing.
What a freaking beast, bro.
Man. All right, Miles. And so it's important as you build relationships that you become known among the people in your circle for what you want to be known for. And so it took time for us to build trust with Jean-Luc as a serious crew before he would trust us to come and help him. And that's nothing bad about Jean-Luc. That's smart of him. To not be like, yeah, I know my friend just, got a grip truck and all this stuff, but he's kind of a wedding guy. Like, that's smart. Don't call that guy until you can see, he knows what he's doing and he can act. He can do the job. He can help me. He can make me look good. He can be an asset to me instead of a liability. And that's what this YouTube channel is about, right? It's showing that we are an asset, not a liability. When we make vlogs like this and we show this process, we're helping clients, we're helping other videographers we're networking with to understand that we can help. Building relationships like that, and specifically building relationships doing the thing that you are trying to do, is very important. I think the rule is the more stands you can bring upstairs, the better. And we won at that. But we would definitely not want to bring all this gear upstairs without our trusty Salen's carts. We do have an affiliate link. This is the story of a ball that got too close to a light. So, watch your tennis balls and make sure that they do not get too close to a light. Or they will look like this, and they will smell like this one smelled also. And relationships leads me into video pals. I've mentioned it before on the channel. Over a year ago, probably a year and a half ago now, I started a monthly meetup of local video professionals. Now, the idea for this came from when I was 16 years old and I wanted to get started in production. I started calling local video companies trying to get help on, hey, how should I price myself and whatever. And one guy, Bob West, picked up and he showed me the ropes, and he introduced me to another guy, John Slagle, who's actually John Luke's dad. Right? Small world. So John Luke's dad was my mentor in the corporate and commercial space, and then Bob was my mentor in the wedding space because Bob was a wedding videographer. And between those two guys, they taught me so much. And I grew up as a kid hanging out on sets like this with John Slagle and John Luke and other guys. Adam Welch was also in our Video Pals group. He was part of the John Slagle crew as well. So we all learned so much from these guys, interning, being on set with them. David Moorfield has been doing video meetups and things. And so anyway, I decided to start a monthly meetup, Video Pals, and we meet up every month. And we've been doing this for over a year and a half, and it has been a fantastic thing for us to all get to know each other, break down those walls of competition, and now the community here, we're helping each other more, we're working together more. Guys like John Luke are hiring guys like us to help him, or we're hiring other people to help us, and it's such a cool thing. So I highly recommend, if there's not a community like that where you are, start one. Be the guy to start it. Forming some kind of a circle of friends, of production, of people you can get together with. Not everyone comes every week, but we have a pretty consistent dozen people that show up to the monthly lunches, and it's not always the same guys, but there's obviously in any group like this, there's going to be a core, the half a dozen guys who are like there every time, and then you've got the guys who come sometimes, and then the guys who come almost never. That's how it's going to go, and not just guys, you got girls too. So we called it Video Pals because that's just the goofy name we came up with at one of the lunches, and it is such a fun group. It's so nice to be able to get together with other production professionals. And we have varying levels of experience, right? We got some guys who don't even have a business, and they're just like, I'm very interested. This is my hobby. I want to do it. And then we've got guys who run, the biggest production studios in town. Sometimes you get to know people and you realize that someone who you didn't realize, was absolutely killing it, is killing it. And then you get a chance to go like, well, what are you doing? How can I learn from you? Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And then you find, that one of your friends, gets on a big podcast or something. Like, there's so many cool things that happen when you're part of a group in a community like this. And it doesn't matter who you are, how big, how small you are. Everyone wants community. Everyone wants friends. Everyone wants a place that we can get together and just talk shop and just relax. And that's what Video Pals is. And what we've done, what we've built in Video Pals has led to things like this. The chance for us to go and crew on a project like this, because over time you build trust with people. Over time you get to know people. We've gone and worked on other people's projects. Other people have come and helped us on our projects. All of those things have happened as a result of the Video Pals group, and not just us, but other people in the group have gone and helped each other in different things. So it's amazing. And when you are willing to show up to a lunch, to a networking event, and just hang out and be yourself, it's amazing what can happen. Anyways, I've ranted for a long time. The whole point of this vlog was check out this cool project we get to do with Scope Studios and show you a little bit of how it came out, because John Luke did a fantastic job on this video. It was basically a mini documentary. And yeah. So stay tuned for the next videos that we'll be dropping. Been overdue to get a video out, and really wanted to just give you guys some value in how you can continue to, find work, build relationships, and the opportunities that can come from that. So thanks, guys. We will see you in the next one.